This is an Illamade production, live on the Illamade network. To all our viewership, please eavesdrop. In the building today, or I should say it's his building, do you know what I mean? He was lovely enough to let us come to his home and obviously shoot this interview. But this gentleman sitting opposite me is a very supreme, iron-fisted ruler, an absolute legend, absolute gentleman, regarded as the yellow pages of the underworld, do you know what I mean? And obviously if you don't know, then do your Googles, you know what I mean? Learn about what yellow pages are. But this man is someone you can rely on and you can call on for anything. He's an absolute gentleman. We have Mr. David Courtney in the building today. How are we doing today? You right?
I'm doing good, my friend.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you too.
Beautiful house, first and foremost. I'm a bit overwhelmed just being in this room as well, seeing all the memorabilia and everything, man. It's fucking
That's
wicked.
exactly what it is. It's an extension of me and my head. It's
Yeah.
yeah. It's a man's house.
Absolutely.
I live here with my friend. Yeah, and it's a man's house. It's got the guns on the wall and the pool table.
Yeah.
And the nightclub and the dungeon. There's no fluffy cushions,
Yeah.
no pink carpets. We ain't even got a beautiful thick toilet paper. It's a bloke's house. Right?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who's got the front door to this house, and they are part of my firm.
Absolutely.
It's their house. It's their base camp one. It's their. It should make you, all you gentlemen, feel home.
100%. Yeah, I definitely do. Like.
Well, you have got to go at the end. Don't
Oh, yeah, oh, well,
I definitely feel home.
I was
I
kind of
bought a sleeping bag and all that.
100%. So, Mr. Courtney, South London, born and raised.
Yeah.
Could you tell me your sort of earliest memories of your childhood?
I had a really, really good childhood. I'm real proof that you can't blame your parents, or you can't actually say that it's because of computer games or there was no green areas for me to play on, or the classrooms were too packed. So I had a really good childhood, and my mum and dad weren't rich, but they definitely weren't poor.
Right.
I understood the council estate thing. I lived on a council estate. I loved the gang thing. I was drawn to that. And I'm more of a court jester than a bad time gangster. I'll be the first to admit that, yeah.
Right.
I'm more of a court jester. I'm afraid in life there is natural leaders and natural soldiers, and no one's more important than the other.
Right.
Yeah, and a good leader needs good soldiers, and a good soldier needs good leader. And I'm afraid I'm leader material. That's
Right.
how, and that was pretty apparent in everything I did from school age, from a minor to adolescent to man. I've been leader material without trying to blow bouquets up my arse. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
And that was most of the people that are in my firm can kick the fuck out of Dave Courtney. I'm not the best shot, the richest, the fastest runner, the best fighter, you know what I mean? But I'm in charge.
Totally, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm the man with the scary thing today in the bad boy world is your phone.
Right.
It's what you can ring up or who you can ring up.
Right.
Not what, the old-fashioned thing of if I'm the best fighter, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
That's like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
You understand
yeah.
what I mean?
Pretty
Today
old school,
it's
like, yeah.
Educate, who you can ring. And I know all of them, yeah? North London, South London, Indians, the Pakistanis, the Russians, the Albanians, the Polish, the Chinese, the Japanese. They're all very good friends today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Right? That has made me, in the authorities' eyes and in the eyes of people out on road, powerful.
Totally.
Yeah, and I've took that job on board I know it's a privilege, but I've took it on board very seriously and hold it quite proudly, because being in this position I'm in, with what I say gets done. So you have to be very careful to use it properly.
Right.
Yeah, you have to make an awful lot of sacrifices to be in this position. Yeah, I can't afford to be out of my head, do Charlie,
Yeah.
and all that, because I never know who is going to knock on that door and go, Dave, I need you,
For
or
sure.
Dave, I'm in trouble.
For sure.
And I can't ever be like in a mood where I'm fucking talking like that. Oh yeah, man, we're doing it in the morning. Yeah, so I have to sacrifice that
For sure.
to be on point all of the fucking time.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it makes sense, but there's sometimes I'd love to be
It's
wow,
wankered, like.
yeah,
For sure.
you know.
Yeah.
But, but as a child,
Yeah.
it wasn't that I was naughty. I was just in charge, and because the bigger boys were drawn to me, I always had the chaps around me.
Right.
And as I got older, I run security companies. I had the biggest security company in Great Britain before the raving scene come. When the raving scene come, I had thousands of doormen. Then I done the security for the Kray twins' funeral.
Right.
And all that. But I was always the one in charge. I thought I was going to be a good boxer. Yeah. But I wasn't. I always thought I'd be a good fighter. I could have a little one on the cobbles.
Yeah, because you were fighting earlier on as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I don't mind a little tear up. I didn't mind a little tear up. But you're only allowed to do it with big sponges tied to your hand in 3-minute intervals. That fucked it up a little bit for me. You know what I mean? I was a doorman fighter, and I had heroes like Lenny McLean. And Lenny McLean, you will never, let me explain something to you, young man, you'll never ever be able to get other Lenny McLeans, and the reason being is you can't get good at something that you're not allowed to do often. Right? You have to. If I didn't play football for 6 months and go back, I'm not going to be the same. If I don't box for a year,
sure.
right? And nowadays, as a doorman, if you just hit somebody back once, you're sacked, arrested, and all that. When I was a doorman, if you lost a fight as a doorman, they sacked you and got a better fighter. And Lenny McLean had 4 or 5 fights a night, 5 nights a week for 20 fucking years.
Crazy.
So that was a very tasty geezer. Right, so by the time me and you bump into him half pissed on the way home, we are in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, even with 4 or 5 of our mates.
Sure.
But nowadays, you're not allowed to actually have a fight or you get nicked.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get good at something you're not allowed to do?
Makes sense, yeah.
Right, so you ain't never going to get another one of those. And I grew up with them as mentors, so I know what a tasty bastard is.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not actually putting myself in the bracket of being a Lenny McLean, but being leader material, I had loads of Lenny McLeans on my side.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, my boxing career, I went in the ring with Lenny McLean once.
Really?
I sparred. It's not as exciting.
Oh, okay. So
I
you always
sparred
had
with
me,
Lenny McLean.
Yeah.
And his sparring partner didn't turn up. We was training at a pub called the Thomas of Beckett.
Right.
And his training partner didn't turn up one Sunday morning. I was only 23. And he's got in the ring and he's gone, where is he? He went, who wants to spar with me then? Who wants to spar with me then? And I know that I ain't anywhere near as good as him, but I'm thinking to myself, it's only sparring. Yeah, I'm going to get hurt. It's Lenny McLean. I could actually get in the boxing ring with Lenny McLean. And I went, like a dickhead. like most men do, my tongue got me in trouble. And I'll have a bit of that. Yeah, I'll have a couple of rounds of it.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean? And fighting just same as any other sport. You get different styles of fighting. Yeah, you'll get the Nigel Benn that don't mind getting it as long as he gets his one in.
100%.
You'll get the Eubanks that wants to hit you but don't want to get hit back. You'll get the Bruce Lee that can actually, spin round and bury his ankle in your ear hole. You'll get the footballer who's going to rip his shirt off and go and jump into 4,000 crowd. You get all different ones. But Lenny McLean, this is what he did to me. From round 1, I lasted 17 seconds
17.
with Lenny McLean, and 10 of them was a fucking count. 1, 2, right? As they went, ding, ding, he just went, wah! And fucking I shit myself. My legs wouldn't work. I was trying to go run, and they wouldn't work, and he just ran across the ring, and I went all properly like that, and he just went, wah, bang, punched that hand punched that hand, and that hand smacked me in the mouth, and I knocked out on the floor. So I lasted 17 seconds. So that's not my greatest moment. After that, I thought, I think I'll retire from this. But as he actually working in the vicinity of a nightclub doorway, Lenny McLean was most probably the best doorman fighter I had ever seen in my life, because it was going through an era where there was football violence, where there was hundreds of men fighting the 4 doormen. Like you get on a Saturday, you'll get all the Liverpool come down and all Man United come to London and all Newcastle come down.
Definitely,
London. They ain't going home till the Sunday, so Saturday night, you and your 4 doormen had 1,200 football hooligans to fight with. None of this intercom radios going, trouble at exit number 5, I need some assistance. You went, help me, and done your thing, and it made you tasty.
Yeah.
Having to do that every week, it made you a different breed of person than it is now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it grew a different breed. So then I was in charge of a load of people that done that. I was running all the doorman of all the nightclubs. So I had all these flat-nosed, bald-headed gorilla things that was working for me. And at the weekend, they was working on the door of the club. And then in the week, they're unemployed. So I became like a job centre for big, strong, naughty men. Right. Yeah, so people wanted squatters kicked out, cars repossessed, somebody else clumped, drugs, your daughter's boyfriend beat up. I knew everyone that would do it. So I had an army of, when the Kray twins want, to do a security job, I don't think you get a bigger job than doing the Kray twins.
Insane.
Because on one certain day, all the gangsters in the whole of Great Britain and around the world all came to the one area to pay homage to the monarch of the underworld, Reggie Kray.
Right.
And a lot of these little firms in real life don't fucking get on with each other.
I can imagine,
like the Crips and Bloods and all that, like North London, South London, the Richardsons were there, the Kray twins were there, this lot was there, the Yardie were there, the Triads were there, the IRA were there, the UDF were there, all in the same area. So that was a potential explosive tinderbox. And I had a meeting with the chief of police, Sir Paul Condon, and I was, just because I'm a mouthy bastard, one of them cut your tongue out moments, and I was just being cocky, and he was talking about doing the security, and I said, look, the God's honest truth is, these are not policeman fans. These are would-be gangsters, have-been gangsters, wannabe gangsters. They're all, right? And if you start going no to the bloke to come in the church, and it's the wrong bloke who should be allowed in the church, there's only 250 people allowed in there,
right?
But there's 750,000 coming.
Crazy.
Do you know who should let come in and kiss Ronnie on the forehead while he's in a coffin or not? Do you let who to know to come into the cemetery and stand around the hole, and who to go wait out? If you don't know that, you're going to be turning away people that you're going to get a lot of fucking trouble running your way, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I think I should do the security, and you lot just hold the crowds back. And he was fuming with it. I'll be honest with you, he was like bubbling with it. Right? And the one thing I said that I shouldn't have done, which I paid for dearly for the rest of my life, is he went, well, the one thing we have got, Mr. Courtney, that your little band of men haven't got, he said, is not everyone is a Kray twin fan. He said, and if anyone wanted an opportunity to take a pot shot at Reggie Kray, this is the first time they've been able to do it, because he's been locked up for 30 years.
Wow, yeah.
And right now he's driving 20 mile at 15 mile an hour and getting out to cemeteries and that.
Yeah.
And there could be an assassination attempt. And the one thing we have got that you haven't got, he said, is a firearms unit. There, I should have shut my mouth. But what I said was, excuse me, sir. I said, the one thing you've got that we haven't got is a firearms certificate. I said, we've all got a fucking gun, which you shouldn't say to the chief of police. And on the very next day, I went from Dave Courtney, the cocky little geezer who ran all the doormen, to the next day was celebrity gangster, the front page of every paper. And he's just looked at that and gone, shut him down. Yeah, destroy that man. No one in England's allowed to have a private army.
100%.
And I pitched 150 to 200 of what I thought were the tastiest men in my little world. I had Mr. Glasgow, Mr. Newcastle, Mr. Edinburgh, Mr. Liverpool, Mr. Manchester, Mr. London, Mr. Brighton. I had the scariest, realist looking army that every single one of them had their own criminal CV.
Right.
So when the police were looking at, that's it. What they all doing? They said all these criminals are under the leader material, under that criminal, coming down here to celebrate the life of another criminal. That's sort of not allowed. Yeah, glamorising crime. Right. And the word celebrity gangster was invented. That's a wrong there is no such thing. It's not a real word. The two words don't go.
Yeah.
Celebrity gangster. That's like saying police intelligence. Yeah? The two words just don't go.
That's crazy. It makes a lot of sense. And just even touching on the media, just given the influence that they have as far as blowing stuff out of proportion and turning people into like enemies and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't want attention for one, and for two, they're just looking for a story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, they're looking for a story, media, but the media are run and owned by the government.
Right.
They put what stories the police tell them to put out.
Right.
Right. They make, divide and conquer. That's the first rules of war. Divide and conquer. And while we're all one little firm, we're scary. But now there's the internet and all that going. They will have this printed and get us all fighting each other.
Yeah.
They can beat all these little minority groups.
Yeah.
But they couldn't beat that. So they just infiltrate, write what they want. And once you've seen it yourself, once you've actually looked at the television and seen what they've said about me, you can't believe anything else. You know what I mean? I got caught paying with a bent copper, and his defence was, no, I'm paying Dave, which meant if I would have been a glass.
Ruin his reputation.
Right. So they do that for 8 months, pretending look, Courtney might be a glass, Courtney might be a glass, Courtney might be a glass. And on the day that the court case started, he went guilty. So he never went to court. They never bothered saying, no, I weren't a glass.
Yeah.
And although it generally did hurt me, right, of course.
Absolutely.
It stops the flow of what was happening to me, very much. The word of the grapevine is very dangerous.
Absolutely.
But I answer that question with one word. Right? When they say about, you might have been a glass, but no one's ever said that to me. And I answer it with, who? You can't say Dave Courtney's a glass. And I'll go, well, who did I glass up? And they go,
absolutely.
Well, I don't know, I just heard he was. Well, what did he glass up?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I just heard he was. Well, when did he glass somebody up? Well, I don't know, I just heard he was. There'd be someone in prison somewhere saying something
talking out their
about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there is no one talking out, there's not anyone saying anything that I've done anything. But they will use that to turn the tide on whatever they want. You understand what I mean? The press is so all-powerful. It's not actually the press, it's the government, and the police can get... when the police wanted to go and nick the Krays and give them 30 years, which there hadn't been a sentence for 30 years, murder maximum was 10 to 15.
Exactly, yeah. I thought
Right,
the other day,
that was what it was. It was 10 to 15 years was the maximum you got for murder. But because they knew what they wanted to do, they used the press and let everyone in England think the Krays this, the Krays that, the Krays that, the Krays this, make the Krays and the Richardsons argue with each other. So when they nicked him for murder, all he done is walked into a pub and went bang. There's a lot naughtier than that around. Yeah. There's a lot more naughtier people than that. And for it, because they'd done all that in the press, they were allowed to give him 30 fucking years.
Insane.
30 years. You just walked in and went bang. Right? You didn't get that if you killed 10 people and dug them up and shagged them every week after. That's what they did. But because the press changed everyone's mind, the press will convince our country to go and invade another country and blow it up because of weapons of mass destruction. Just blow up a whole country and invade it. And then at the end of it go, sorry.
We got that one wrong, didn't it?
Yeah. The press are scary.
They are, man, for sure. So if I can just go back towards basically...
Sorry, I rambled.
No, not a problem. Yeah, no, I'm loving it, honestly. So you have one sibling, which is a sister, right? And
I have a sister and a brother.
Oh, you have a sister and a brother. Sorry, apologies. Yeah. So there was 3 of you as kids from your parents.
Yeah.
And you've said previously that you kind of see yourself as the black sheep of the family. Is there any reason that you'd think that?
No. When I say black sheep, I don't actually mean that in a wrong way. But I am very different than my brother and sister.
Right.
Yeah, it's in my genes. I wasn't brought up any different. I was brought up exactly the same. But you're born naughty.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right? You're born naughty. Yeah, and some women are born a slut. It don't matter if she married Brad Pitt, she'd still fuck the chauffeur. Yeah. If you're born a liar, or you can't help it. And I was born a bit naughty, and most probably clambering for attention. And I'm a much better entertainer than I was gangster. you understand me? I've never, I don't jump on the gangster thing. I'm not telling you I am one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say my phone ain't scary, because it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but me personally, I'm not saying I'm the biggest gangster there was. And all these big old fucking lumps that you see, that you think, who will tell them what to do? They are actually looking for someone to tell them what to do.
Makes
Yeah,
sense. Sure.
they are needing a little bit of authority or control over their body, because they're like that. No one's going to tell them what to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But they need a little bit of direction, a little bit of,
Yeah.
and I grab that, and I take that job very seriously and to my heart. And the people that are in my firm are like genuine family to me, not spoken lightly as it is now. Hey, family,
Yeah.
all of it. I'm saying they are like family to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they've got holes in their body down to me. They've got years in prison down to hide me. And you understand what I mean? They are family to me. I worry about their welfare, their concern for their family when they're in prison. I'll buy the trainers, get the snack. You know, you've got to do the looking after. This is their house. They've got keys to this house. If they want to run to Dave and go, help me, and I'm not in, right? Fucking hell, right, you got a key.
Yeah, no, that's sick.
Yeah, and they mean something to me. I've been a best man 47 times.
Amazing.
And I've been a godfather 39 times.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
You know what I mean? And it means that to me. It's expensive at fucking Christmas. Hear me?
Can imagine.
But it's beautiful, and I'm an old romantic, so all of that means something to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have no shame in putting me there. So if they want to put me there, I feel it my duty to be that for you. And whether I deserve it or not, the rest of the world look at it, that I wear the crown of the typical English naughty man. Yeah,
sure,
whether
yeah.
I deserve it or not. Yeah,
For sure.
Jay-Z wants to put me on the front of his album and go, you know, Blueprint. If Rancid, the punk rock band, the biggest heavy metal band in America, want to put tracks out about me on their albums. So I've spoke at the Oxford Union, the same as Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, John Lennon, Dave Courtney. Yeah?
Amazing. Yeah.
You know, it's gone beyond gangster or Tony Montana. It's gone beyond that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. So, your earliest taken to the streets sort of thing, right? So you was going through it, sort of doing a lot of fighting sort of thing. And you have pretty much, I would say, like a signature tool that you use, sort of thing, innit? Which is the good old knuckle duster. Do you know what I mean? How did that become your signature tool? Fucking arts?
Hold it, I think.
Oh, here we go. Oh shit.
Right? No, I was a doorman, and I'm going to give you a little bit of thing. You must be prepared, right, to do the prison sentence that your choice of weapon carries.
Right.
Right? If you choose to carry a knife with you all the time, every time you have a fight, right, you risk getting 20 years.
That's deep.
Yeah?
That's deep.
And I want something to go bang and stop the fight if I'm cheating. And that, I'll fight anyone in the world. I've only got to get one shot going that way. And when I hit you, I will win. If it hits your arm, it'll break your arm. If it hits you anywhere around here, you'll fall on the floor there. If it hits you here, you'll break your rib. Right? Now, with a knife, as they're coming towards you, you can go, but it don't stop them.
Oh, mate.
They still carry on fighting. It feels like that.
Yeah.
That's what a knife feels like. So you have to go for them to stop, and they all die.
Yeah.
So I'm not prepared to get 20 years every time I have a fight. So you've got to choose the weapon that you don't mind doing the prison sentence for.
Right.
And that, boom, I'll fight anyone in the world and get one shot in. I'll fight fucking Mike Tyson and get one shot in. That's all I need. So that was why I chose it.
Right.
That's why I believe in it. I was on this anti-knife thing before this anti-knife thing come out now. When everyone was carrying it around, I knew it was a mistake. I was losing mates that were dying. I was losing mates getting 20 years and 25 years over the knife thing, right? It's a bad move. Listen to me, I understand about how it's peer pressure that you need to carry something because everyone else is. And with the influx of different nationalities coming over here and the Eastern Bloc youth coming over here, which have a different level of violence than the normal English person. It's
Yeah.
a different level, you know, and I'm not right or wrong. They've had to live in a world where it had to be that level,
Absolutely.
right? So I understand to be an equal, you have to carry a thing. But you've got to look at the flip side of that. Every time you win a fight, you could get 20 years. I was fighting too often to risk that. I was fighting 3 or 4 times a night. And I didn't want to do that 3 or 4 times a night. I don't mind doing that 3 or 4 times a night.
Makes
So
sense.
that's why I live and breathe them. And I think it is the most important invention from the wheel, fire and electricity, the knuckle duster.
Oh, shit.
That's my belief.
No, that is incredibly, like, for you to have that perspective, I feel like that's mad
No,
intelligent.
but how do I'm not allowed to ever go on television and ever say to anyone,
Yeah.
don't carry a knife, but if you have to carry a tool, like some people do in work, yeah, prison officers, policemen, soldiers, doormen, right, carry that. So I can't actually say, carry one of these because that is illegal to carry.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be reality about it. If you are going to carry something,
Makes sense. Yeah.
carry something that ain't going to kill them. Carry someone that just goes boom and they blah, blah, blah. Right.
No, that is supreme logic, honestly. That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
But I'm not allowed to ever go on telly and say that, so you're most probably the only one that's got that.
Oh,
I'll
nah.
get caned for it, most probably.
No, we
Yeah.
definitely got to put make.
But it makes sense, then it's
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got to wisen up a lot of people
Surely
out
by
here.
far.
Yeah, totally.